Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here today to review Beetlejuice, a movie I haven't seen since 1988, and I saw it in a very unique way. I saw it on Whitfield's Food Review, and they did like a movie review live stream. Well, not a movie review live stream, a movie watching live stream, and it was on Crackle, and it kind of had it synced in. I guess they had like a link on their video. Wait a second. Yes, good. I don't like those two either. Elizabeth contact me. Elizabeth Ricard is an awesome person, by the way. Yeah, I said like these videos are done like on the fly. I'm doing it right after the live stream. Um, yeah, big shout to Nicholas Whitfield and Jen Whitfield from Whitfield's Food Reviews. They're great people, and I think they're pretty amazing. They put out really good content too. They do the animations and the music and the stuff like that, and like Nicholas Whitfield, like John Carpenter, when he directs movies, he usually does the soundtrack. He's kind of like maybe like the John Carpenter food reviews. It's pretty maybe yeah, and and it was really cool. They had that. They had it on Crackle. And it was weird because I went into my Crackle. I had to sign back in. It says I think Sony took it over or something like that. All these streaming channels are changing and stuff like that. There's some that are no longer available. That I had added on my Roku. Like OV Guide is now Coolflix, and Coolflix sucks. OV Guide was so much better. I mean, I saw Creature from Bloodfart Lake there. That was funnier than hell. So I remember I reviewed it. One person said that movie sucked. I thought it was funny because it was stupid. But Beetlejuice, it was cool watching it because, like I said, I haven't seen Beetlejuice since 1988, and that was when I was in the Army. I was in during AIT in Fort Gordon, Georgia. And this was, I think when this came out, this is when the term Burton-esque came out because Tim Burton was a visionary, right? Because a few years back in 1984, he did a movie, short film for, almost said McDonald's. I have food review on the brain. For Disney called Frankenweenie. And it was like an homage to Frankenstein with a dog getting killed and bringing back like the Frankenstein monster. And they did stuff like the setup like the Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein 2. And Disney apparently hated the movie and they fired him. And then from there he did something, he directed Aladdin and His Wonderful Lamp. That's why I read in this one play. I never seen it. For Fairy Tale Theater, and the only reason I know about Fairy Tale Theater is because in the one place I used to rent movies, Home Video Exchange, they had a whole lineup for the kids thing at Fairy Tale. They had a whole bunch of them, and that's the one that Shelley Duvall was involved with. It was for cable or something, I think. I can't remember. And they had like big name actors and stuff in it. And then from then, what was it, 86 or 87? He did Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And that's when Pee Wee Herman was going for Dave Letterman and the big stuff, and then he was in had the Saturday morning kids show, and then I think the movie came right around that time too. I remember renting on almost said on VHS. We had VHS, we didn't have DVD back then, and liking it. And then, of course, there was a much buzz for Beetlejuice that came out with Michael Keaton, and back then Michael Keaton was mostly a comedic actor because he did one show on TV with Jim Belushi I really liked, and then he went on to be in that Ron Howard film Night Shift, which was really good, and then like Gung Ho and Mr. Mom and stuff like that, and then he was in that one, and then later on Tim Burton directed him a year later as Batman. I said, there Michael Keaton played Batman, but I thought he did really good. Yeah. Oh, I agree completely with you, Elizabeth. I'm talking to Elizabeth. I don't watch either one of those. They're phony. I think they're phony. Are phony. I agree with you. Yeah, like I said, he went on with you, and then he went on to do Batman. Well, anyways, Beetlejuice, seeing it that way, I'm getting off track just talking about Tim Burton. And I'm wearing a Batman shirt sent me from a subscriber, Billy Joe McGravia. Very nice Batman shirt. Um, and basically, I saw Beetlejuice for the first time since 1988 tonight, a few hours back on Crackle. And I really enjoyed it, just like I did before. It was really neat. It's about this picturesque town, a very unique house with neat architecture and stuff like that. And Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin played a very nice couple, very laid back, and they were doing like a little miniature of the town in the attic and stuff like that. And they were traveling around, and there was a little dog that kept running across the street, and then eventually they swerved, they hit it, and they went in this wooden bridge that reminded me of the Gudgeonville Bridge, kind of. They went in, and then they ended up being in the drink, and they came back, and they didn't survive. They came back as ghosts. And then they found a book about rules of the afterlife or something like that, or how the do's and don'ts of being a ghost. And it turns out there's all this legal stuff, and they had like a social worker and stuff like that. It takes you on this unique journey of this. It shows the vision of Tim Burton. I mean, going from place to place. And this very obnoxious family, this house gets sold by this very obnoxious family, moves in and wants to tear it all down, and they're trying to scare them out of the house. And they find out about this guy named Beetlejuice, and this one lady that their social worker says he's bad news and don't summon him. And Beetlejuice is played, of course, by Michael Keaton. And he does that famous line, "I'm the ghost with the most, babe." That's what I put on Whitfield's live stream at the very beginning. They probably didn't even see it, though. But, I mean, it's cool. Anyway, so let me see what's... Okay. Oh, I know. I know that is BS. And shout out to Elizabeth Ricard too. But I don't want to give away any spoilers because probably most people have seen it already. There's the scene, Calypso scene, which is like iconic around the table, and I guess it won an Academy Award for special effects. Because I was in the Army, I don't know. I know it was a big hit movie, and with military theaters, they show movies, second run movies, and they showed everything. So when I remember when they said they weren't going to be purchasing Last Temptation of Christ. Like, oh my God. They purchased every other obscure movie, like the Blue Iguana, no one ever heard of that. Plain Clothes, no one ever heard of that one. Howling 3, everyone heard of that one. That was played in the theater. They played The Trouble with Spies. They played really obscure films in Fort Gordon particularly. But, I mean, they did not pick up Last Temptation of Christ. I remember renting that movie. That was very different. Not like Beetlejuice. It's not a feel-good movie like Beetlejuice was. And Beetlejuice was very... It had a sense of macabre, too, with, like, Nightmare Before Christmas. He has that weird thing of, like, fanciful and macabre mixed in a very comedic sense. And there was a lot of films I've seen that were influenced by them that I liked. Well, the ones I did like, I remember... I can't remember them. Drop Dead Fred, of course. I liked that one. I was one of the few people who liked Nothing But Trouble. I thought it was funny. And Little Monsters. Those were all influenced by Beetlejuice. But I really enjoyed the film. I'm glad. It was one of those movies, like, I'm trying to, like, go back and revisit some movies I haven't seen in a while, like Harry and the Hendersons. I saw that after not seeing it for a long time. And there's probably still a handful of movies I'm really interested in checking out again. I love the movie. I give that 10 out of 10. I thought it was funny, but not super hilarious. I liked the quest, the visionary, the trip it took you on. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool stuff. And it was PG-13. They had one F-bomb in it. It's usually PG-13 giveaway. And also, Red Dawn was not the very first PG-13 movie. It was Dreamscape. And when we were talking about that, movies like Poltergeist, they were shocked that the movie Poltergeist, the original Poltergeist, is PG. Because movies like Poltergeist, Gremlins, the violence in Poltergeist, Gremlins, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and stuff like that were the ones that parents and people were kind of mad at the MPAA. They wanted to create a rating between PG and R. And also, don't forget Airplane 2, which is PG, had scenes of a topless woman and also a couple other scenes. And so they just came up with the PG-13 rating, and Dreamscape was the very first one. And then Red Dawn came a little while after. Red Dawn was not the first PG-13 movie. Just like some people think Showgirls, because of high profile, the first NC-17. Nope. Because that came way after that, because there was movies like Wild Orchid and Ken Russell's Horror, which I really liked. Wild Orchid was another sleazy movie with what's-his-face that was in Barfly. Mickey Rourke, a real sleazy Mickey Rourke movie. But Henry and June was the very first NC-17 movie, and then they had like another. I think it was a period drama or something. I never saw it because I went to see. Me and my friend Hoppy. This is when I was in Fort Bragg. Went to see Night of the Living Dead, the remake in 1990, and he was saying, "Why don't we go see Henry and June?" And I said, "No, we're going to see the other one." But in a way, I wish I would have, because I've never seen an NC-17 movie in a movie theater. I think the last time I got the chance to see one was Dirty Shame. I didn't bother to see that in the theater. That was NC-17. And then they had like a foreign movie, Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down was NC-17. There were some other ones. But way before Showgirls. Just because it was... Oh, and Bad Lieutenant. I can't remember if Bad Lieutenant was before Showgirls or not. Bad Lieutenant was awesome. So that's my review of Beetlejuice. See, I went off topic. Shoutouts to Elizabeth Ricard for being my awesome friend. Shoutouts to Nicholas and Jen Whitfield for being my good friends too. Thank you very much for doing this live stream. I really enjoyed it. I was really glad I got to check out Beetlejuice for a second time. I got to revisit it because I've only seen it once back in 1988. So thank you very much. I hope you liked this review. A 10 out of 10 for the movie. And until next time, bye please. Take care, my legion.